He told me he was going on a guy's trip, so I crashed his candlelit dinner with his mistress and served him divorce papers instead. You always think betrayal will announce itself like a thunderclap. A lipstick-stained collar. A mysterious late-night call. But in reality? It trickles in slowly, like a leaky faucet you keep promising yourself you'll fix, until your kitchen floor is flooded and you're barefoot in a mess you didn't make. 8 months ago, Tyler lost his job. Downsizing, corporate restructuring, whatever buzzword you want to slap on top of it. One day he had a 6-figure income and the next, he was sitting on our couch at 10 a.m. in boxers, watching car detailing videos on YouTube. At first, I was sympathetic. Losing a job hits hard, especially for men like Tyler, who wrap their identity around job titles and business cards like armor. I told him to take a few weeks to clear his head. No pressure. We'll get through this. I work in marketing for a mid-sized tech company. Not glamorous, but it pays the bills. Barely. Especially when suddenly I'm paying all of them. Mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, car payments. You name it. I covered it, while Tyler figured things out. For the first couple months, I believed him. Every night, he'd tell me he'd applied to jobs, sent out resumes, followed up on leads. He even joined a couple LinkedIn groups and went to 2 networking lunches, which he came home from talking like he was running for office. But somehow, nothing ever came of any of it. And after a while, I started to notice the subtle erosion of energy in our house. He stopped shaving. Then he stopped changing out of his sweats. Then he stopped asking how my day was. Our conversations became monotone exchanges, me reporting on reality, and him dodging it. I'd come home from work, exhausted, and ask how the job hunt was going. Good, he'd say. Sent out a few apps today. Every day, the same vague answer. Like it was some sacred script he'd memorized. Anything new? I'd press. Yeah, I think something might be coming through. Just waiting to hear. Then he'd click his AirPods back in and return to some 12-hour Twitch stream of a guy unboxing mechanical keyboards. And I'd go start dinner. By month 4, I stopped asking. Not because I didn't care, but because I couldn't stomach another lie with that fake half-smile and empty eyes. Every time I opened our banking app, it felt like another needle in my neck. I was burning out, emotionally, financially, spiritually, while he lived like some kind of overgrown teen on summer break. And then, just as I was about to snap and ask for some form of accountability, he came to me with that wide, boyish grin I hadn't seen in ages. So, guess what? He said one night, as I came in from a 10-hour workday and dropped my purse on the counter. What? The guys from college are planning a trip to Vegas. I blinked at him. Okay? Yeah, like, a real guy's weekend. Just us reconnecting, blowing off steam, you know? There's a chance Rob might hook me up with a recruiter he knows out there too. So it could be fun and productive. There it was. The perfect Tyler cocktail, recklessness with a twist of vague justification. How much? I asked. He hesitated. About $1,500. Hotel, flight, food, stuff like that. I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. But he just stood there, hopeful. Like a golden retriever who thought he deserved a treat for not peeing on the carpet. And here's the worst part, I said yes. Why? Because I wanted to believe it. I wanted this to be the reset button he needed. I wanted him to come back with a little fire in his belly and a resume in his inbox. So, like the sucker I was, I transferred the money. He kissed me like I'd just saved his life. You won't regret this, he said. And for a second, I believed him. I helped him pack the next night, because that's what I always did. And that's when I found the suit. A sleek, charcoal Hugo Boss suit tucked neatly between swim trunks and t-shirts. One I'd never seen before. One that looked like it cost more than our monthly grocery budget. What's this? I asked, holding it up. Tyler barely glanced at it. Oh, that? Just an old suit I found in the back of the closet. Really? I've never seen it before. You don't notice my clothes, he muttered, suddenly defensive. Why are you grilling me over a suit? The tone shift hit like a slap. And I should have known then. That was the moment my gut started screaming and I shoved a sock in its mouth. But I let it go. God help me, I let it go. The morning Tyler left for Vegas, I drove him to the airport. He hugged me like a man heading off to war, and I played along because that's what good wives do, we play along until we snap. Text me when you land, I said, trying to keep my voice light. Of course, he smiled. And thanks again for all this. Seriously. I needed it. I watched him disappear into security, duffel bag slung over one shoulder, Hugo Boss suit zipped tight inside. The image burned itself into my brain, him strutting away, thinking he was getting away with it. The first night, I got a text from him around 11 p.m. Hey babe, we're wiped from traveling. Just crashing early. Love you. Weird. That group of guys once got banned from a wedding for turning the rehearsal dinner into a tequila Olympics. And now suddenly they're going to bed before midnight? I brushed it off. Told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe he was tired. Maybe they had changed. The next day around noon, I tried calling him, straight to voicemail. I waited a few hours, then texted to ask if everything was okay. Hours later, he replied. Sorry babe. Phone died at the pool party. Wild day lol. Just chilling now. But here's the kicker, when I clicked on our chat to respond, I noticed the last seen timestamp on WhatsApp. He'd been online 20 minutes after I called. So, his phone wasn't dead. He just didn't pick up. Strike 2. Day 3, I called again, this time around 9 p.m. He answered, but his voice was weird. Stiff. Like he'd swallowed a rock. Hey, can't really talk. We're at this sports bar, watching the game. It's loud. But it wasn't loud. I could hear music in the background, soft, instrumental, jazzy. Definitely not ESPN. Definitely not the chaos of drunk guys screaming over wings and Bud Light. What bar are you at? I asked, casually. He hesitated. I forget the name. Somewhere in the Bellagio. Right. Totally normal to forget the name of a bar you're in. The word sports bar echoed in my ears while a lonely saxophone played behind him, like the universe was mocking me. Okay, I said. Have fun. We hung up. I stared at my phone for 10 minutes. Then 20. Then opened my laptop. Because, you see, Tyler and I had this cute little thing called family sharing on our Apple devices. Meant to keep couples close. Or, in this case, burn cheating husbands to the ground. I clicked Find My. Boom. There he was. Bellagio Hotel. Not at the Excalibur like he said. Not even in a room that matched his supposed group booking. Suite level. And that was when my gut, the one I'd silenced, started screaming again, only this time I listened. I opened his laptop. He'd left it behind, claiming he wanted a break from job applications and emails. Unplug for a bit. Which is adorable, because he clearly plugged into something. The messages looked normal at first. Group chats, fantasy football, work spam. But then I found her. Her contact name? Wifey Red Heart. Which is adorable, considering I'm his wife. And my name in his phone is just my name, no emoji. No flair. Click. I spent the next hour reading their conversations, and let me tell you, if rage had a taste, it would have been bitter coffee and broken glass. They talked like newlyweds. Sweet nothings. Photos. I miss US, can't wait to finally be together. Plans. Lingerie. Hotel bookings. She asked if he'd bought the champagne. He said yes, sent her a screenshot of a reservation at a restaurant that costs more than our grocery bill for a month. But what shattered me was this little gem. She just doesn't get me like you do. She's so bitter now, always nagging me about money. You're the only real peace I have. That she was me. The woman paying the mortgage. The one funding his romantic getaway. And her response? She sounds awful. But soon, you'll be free. I can't wait to be your real wife. That was it. That was the exact second something inside me flipped. I stopped crying. I stopped shaking. My heartbreak condensed into a single, sharp emotion, rage. Pure and surgical. I took screenshots. Every message, every photo. I emailed them to myself. Labeled the file proof for the end of the world. Then I stared at the screen, dead silent, and said out loud, "Okay. Let's burn it all down." The next morning, I booked a flight to Vegas. One way. Because I wasn't coming back until something beautiful had exploded. I packed light, just a carry-on and a folder containing the divorce papers I'd asked a lawyer friend to rush the night before. Printed, stapled, notarized, delicious. The flight was 3 hours long, and I spent every minute of it tracking him through Find My iPhone. Watching his dot move from the spa to the pool to the overpriced brunch spot. I took screenshots every time, like little souvenirs of deceit. And then, around 6:45 p.m., his dot stopped moving, right on top of a Michelin-starred restaurant inside the Bellagio. I could practically smell the betrayal. I fixed my hair, reapplied my lipstick, walked into that hotel with the calmness of a woman who has nothing left to lose. I found the hostess. Told her I was meeting my husband, Tyler, reservation should be under his last name. She smiled. "Ah, yes. Mr. and Mrs. Edwards. Right this way." And that's when I knew, she thought she was the wife. Cute. Perfect, I said. I'd love to surprise him. And reader? Oh, I did. The hostess led me through the restaurant like I was just another chic dinner guest. I could hear the clinking of silverware, the low hum of conversation, the distant pop of champagne corks, a symphony of high-end indulgence, all financed by my bank account. And then I saw them. Corner table. Dim lighting. Red wine. Candles. Tyler, sitting across from her like some off-brand James Bond in that goddamn Hugo Boss suit. And her? A woman straight out of an Instagram thirst trap, wearing a tight red dress like she was starring in a perfume ad for Homewrecker by Brielle. They were holding hands across the table, heads tilted toward each other, laughing about something. That's when I walked up, smiling, and said, "Hey, babe. Sorry I'm late." Tyler looked up, and I swear his face went through the 5 stages of grief in under 3 seconds. Shock. Confusion. Guilt. Panic. Terror. Brielle blinked at me like I was a walking tax audit. "Who are you?" I looked her dead in the eye. "I'm his wife." Tyler made this pathetic squeaking sound, like a balloon deflating. "You're, what?" she asked, glancing at him like she'd misheard. I pulled out my phone and showed her the messages. The ones where she called herself his real wife. The ones where he said I was bitter and unsupportive. The ones where they planned this whole romantic weekend, with my money. Her face went pale, like someone just told her brunch was cancelled forever. By this point, the entire restaurant was dialed in. Forks paused midair. Conversation silenced. A server dropped a bread basket in slow motion. Tyler stammered, "It's not what it looks like." "Oh, buddy. That line should be put on your tombstone." I leaned in, calm as a nun in a thunderstorm. "You're right. It's so much worse." He stood up like he thought he could regain control, hands out like he was about to give a TED talk on gaslighting. "Let's talk about this privately." "No, thank you," I said, pulling out the divorce papers and slapping them on the white linen tablecloth. "Here's your privacy. 30 days to get your crap out of my house." He tried to protest. "You're being dramatic, you don't understand, it was a mistake, the usual playlist." I raised my hand and silenced him. "No. You don't get to stand here in a $700 suit I didn't even know we could afford, drinking $150 wine with your OnlyFans girlfriend, and tell me I'm overreacting." Then, because I'm petty and theatrical and finally done pretending not to be, I grabbed the nearest water glass, his, and dumped it right in her lap. The gasp she let out could have powered the Bellagio fountains. "You can have him," I said, looking her dead in the eye. "Every unemployed, manipulative, lying inch of him. Congratulations." Security was making its way over. The restaurant manager asked if everything was okay, and I turned to him with a smile that could cut glass. "Actually, it's perfect," I said. "Just wrapping up dinner with my soon-to-be ex-husband and his mistress. You should really try the betrayal, it's very rich." Then, I pulled out my phone and started recording. Because if I was going down, I was taking his dignity with me. I narrated it like a documentary. "This is Tyler. He told me he was going on a guy's trip. He used the money I gave him to cheat on me with Brielle here, who calls herself his real wife. Say hi, Brielle." She tried to hide her face. Tyler tried to grab the phone. I stepped back and kept filming. Then I sent the video to his mom. And his sister. And his entire extended family group chat. Captioned it, "Your golden boy's on vacation, on my dime, with his side piece. Hope the wine's good." Tyler's face turned a shade of red that no Pinot could replicate. He reached for me, probably to plead or threaten or both, but I backed away and said, loud enough for half the restaurant to hear, "If you ever come near me again, I'll send this video to every hiring manager in a 50-mile radius." Then I walked out. Past the gaping tables, past the whispering staff, past two women who literally clapped as I passed. Outside, I ordered an Uber to the airport and booked a red-eye home. I didn't need sleep. I was powered by rage and poetic justice. By the time I landed, I felt lighter. Free, almost. Like I'd finally crawled out of a lie I'd been sleeping inside of. I got home, made coffee, sat on the couch Tyler used to sulk on, and started planning. Because the next phase wasn't about him anymore. It was about me. Tyler came home 2 days later. Which is generous of me to say, considering I'd already changed the locks and dumped all his belongings on the lawn in 3 large moving boxes marked, "Hope Brielle likes dirty socks." I was sipping coffee in my bathrobe, finally enjoying the kind of morning that doesn't involve lies and gaslighting, when I heard banging on the front door. Bang. 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 "Let me in. We need to talk about this like adults." Adults. Cute. The same adult who lied for months and used his wife's money to wine and dine an OnlyFans fantasy girlfriend in a luxury suite. I opened the door just enough to be heard, but not seen. Adults don't cheat on their spouses and spend $1,500 of their wife's money on jazz dinners with a girl who thinks emojis count as personality. "You blindsided me in front of everyone," he snapped. "That was cruel." "Oh, sorry, did I ruin your honeymoon vibes?" "My bad." He kept going. Said I was hysterical. Said I embarrassed him and could have just talked to him at home. As if I'd missed the part where he skipped the talking phase and went straight to horizontal jazzercise with Brielle. He tried every tactic in the book of pathetic. Anger, "You've got no right to throw me out like this." Guilt, "I've been going through so much." Sad puppy routine, "She meant nothing." I was just confused. But I wasn't biting. I had receipts, screenshots, emotional trauma, and, most importantly, momentum. "Your things are outside." "That's more than you deserve," I said. "Your name's not on the mortgage, not on the bills, not on anything that actually matters. You've contributed nothing but drama for the past 8 months, Tyler. You can whine about rights all you want, but this isn't your house anymore. It's your ex-wife's." He went silent. Probably trying to calculate how much alimony he could scam from someone who paid for his mistress's calamari. Eventually, he switched tactics. Look. I know I messed up. But we can fix this. I'll block her. I'll go to therapy. I'll get a job. Please. I swear he almost cried. Almost. But I'd seen better performances in middle school theater productions. No, I said. You will get a job. You will go to therapy. But it won't be for me. It'll be for the next woman you plan to deceive. Maybe Brielle. Maybe your mom. Honestly, she deserves an apology, too. He looked like I'd kicked his emotional support hamster. I'll change, he said. I smiled. That's great. Change your address while you're at it. He stood there for another 10 minutes, hoping, pleading, waiting for the version of me that used to forgive him. But she was gone. She left the same time my bank account did. Eventually, he left, tail between his legs, dragging boxes down the driveway while Brielle called his phone 6 times in a row. And you know what? It felt amazing. The next day, I posted the short version of my story online. Part venting. Part cautionary tale. Part petty masterpiece. The internet did what the internet does, it exploded. People from all over chimed in to say I wasn't crazy, that I'd handled it like a queen, that they hoped Brielle had waterproof mascara. I'll admit, it was validating. I needed it. After months of being gaslit and sidelined in my own marriage, it felt like I finally took the pen back and started writing my own story. Then, Brielle called me. Yeah. She called me. I didn't recognize the number, but curiosity got the better of me. I answered. Hi, is this Tyler's wife? Ex-wife, I corrected automatically. She started sobbing. Like ugly crying. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know he was married. He told me you were separated and just dragging out the paperwork. Of course he did. I didn't say anything. Just let her keep going. He promised we were gonna be together. I quit my job. I moved to Nevada. He said we were building something real. I raised an eyebrow. After meeting on OnlyFans? She sniffled. We really connected. Emotionally? Or through the $29.99 subscription? She ignored that. I don't know what to do. He's not answering. He blocked me. I think he used me. Oh honey. You think? Then came the best part. Could you maybe talk to him for me? I nearly dropped the phone. Excuse me? I just think, maybe if you explained to him that I really cared about him, and I wasn't just some side piece. I cut her off. So let me get this straight. You want me, the woman he betrayed, to help you, the woman he betrayed me with, get back in touch with the man who betrayed us both? Silence. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. But I hung up. And then I blocked her number. Because honestly, her level of delusion was starting to infect my phone like a virus. 7 months passed. 7 months of silence, sanity, and me finally getting my life back. I didn't hear much from Tyler after I dropped the paperwork bomb in Vegas and locked him out of the house like an expired coupon. He moved in with his mother, which, honestly, was the perfect punishment. The only woman more disappointed in Tyler than me was the one who raised him. I focused on myself. And you know what? Turns out, when you remove 200 pounds of emotional dead weight from your life, amazing things happen. I got a promotion at work. Doubled my income. Bought myself a new car. Started taking yoga. Even went on a couple dates, nothing serious, just enough to remind myself that not all men are Tyler-shaped train wrecks. Then, one day, I ran into Tyler's sister at the grocery store. She looked like she'd seen a ghost who also owed her money. Oh my God, she said, visibly panicked. Hey. I smiled politely. Hey. You look amazing. Yes. Because I wasn't funding a grown man's midlife meltdown. We exchanged small talk, but eventually she broke. I have to tell you something. It's just, you deserve to know. I raised an eyebrow. Is this about Tyler? She nodded, glanced around, and leaned in like we were about to discuss state secrets. He's still living in Mom's basement, she whispered. Still unemployed. And, it's bad. I waited. After that video you sent to the family group chat, oh my god, you have no idea, my mom lost it. She made him delete all his socials. She monitors his internet now. Like, literally checks his browsing history. Says he's not mature enough for digital freedom. I nearly choked on my LaCroix. He hasn't been allowed to come to family events, she added. Mom says until he unembarrasses himself, he's in exile. Unembarrass himself. That's not even a thing. But I love it. But wait, it gets better. Apparently, Brielle, remember her? Our favorite lingerie-clad economic tragedy? Moved across the country to be with Tyler. You read that correctly. She packed up her life, quit her job, and moved states to start a new chapter with a man who had less career prospects than a broken Roomba. Only to show up at his mom's house, and be met with a restraining order. Because, wait for it, Tyler had blocked her on everything and told his mom to handle it. Handle it. This man outsourced his breakup to his mother. When Brielle started showing up at the house, his mom called the cops on her. Twice. She now refers to her as the thirsty one. Apparently, Brielle's been spiraling. She's been messaging his family on Facebook, tagging them in sad quotes, and asking them to convince Tyler to unblock her. She even sent a friend request to his grandmother, which, if you ask me, is the most desperate thing I've ever heard. Tyler's sister wrapped it up with, he keeps asking if he has a shot at getting back with you. We all told him no. Like, hard no. And in that moment, I swear I felt the universe kiss me on the forehead. That night, I went home, opened a bottle of wine, and toasted myself. I wasn't the same woman who used to check our bank account every night in quiet panic. I wasn't the same woman who made excuses for his behavior, or told myself that maybe I was too emotional, or too suspicious, or not supportive enough. I was someone new. Someone who knew her worth, and knew how to swing it like a bat. People always say karma will handle it. That if you wait long enough, those who wrong you will get what they deserve. But I didn't wait. I was the karma. Epilogue. Last I heard, Tyler's still job hunting, which is code for playing Xbox and blaming the economy. Brielle left town. Or maybe got abducted by an MLM. Tyler's mom is reportedly very tired. His sister sends me memes sometimes. And me? I sleep great. With a locked front door, a new mattress, and a deep, satisfying sense of peace that only comes when you stop carrying someone else's wreckage and finally start living your own damn life. About 2 weeks after the grocery store confession, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I usually don't answer those, because 9 times out of 10 it's someone trying to sell me solar panels or salvation. But something told me to pick up. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was fate. Maybe I just wanted to see how many more clowns could fit into this sad little circus. I answered. Hello? There was a pause. Then a sniffle. Hi, is this Tyler's ex-wife? Ex-wife. The phrase was like a warm weighted blanket. Yes, I said, voice flat as drywall. It's Brielle. Of course it was. She sounded different now. Not sultry. Not flirty. Just tired. The kind of tired you get when you finally realize the fantasy you bought was just a screensaver. I know you probably hate me, she said. Hate's a strong word, I replied. I prefer profoundly unimpressed. She let out a dry laugh, like it escaped by accident. Fair. There was a pause, and then she launched into it. The whole sob story, condensed into a tight little monologue like she was auditioning for a role as a side chick with regrets. She told me Tyler ghosted her. Never gave her a reason. Blocked her on everything. Told her they were soulmates, then fed her to the wolves the moment it got inconvenient. She said she'd moved across the country thinking he'd help support her while she found work, only to realize he couldn't support himself out of a paper bag. She was stuck. Jobless. Broke. Humiliated. The fantasy was dead and buried. All that was left was regret, and a very long text thread with 0 replies. And then she hit me with this. Do you think he might still care about me? I had to mute the phone because I was laughing so hard I snorted. When I came back, I said, Brielle, sweetheart, I'm gonna tell you something that will set you free. You ready? She sniffed. Yeah. Tyler doesn't care about anyone. Not me. Not you. Not even himself. He only cares about the version of himself that he can convince other people to believe in. And once they stop believing, he moves on. That's it. That's the whole man. Dead silence. She whispered, I think I knew that. I just didn't want to admit it. Well, now you have. Congrats. You're officially free of Tyler. Go get a therapist, a job, and maybe an exorcism. She chuckled again. Thank you. I mean it. And you know what? I believed her. We hung up. I blocked her number, not out of anger this time, just closure. Now, when people ask me what happened, I just smile and say, he went to Vegas and I sent him straight to hell. And when they ask if I'd ever take him back, which, yes, some truly deranged people do ask, I tell them this. If I had to choose between being single or being with Tyler again, I'd marry a cactus. Final stats. Tyler, still jobless, still blocked, still monitored like a middle schooler with a history of Googling bad ideas. Brielle, last seen working at a diner in Arizona. She's apparently writing a book now. Probably called How to Get Played in 3 Easy Steps. Me, happier, richer, freer. Bought a houseplant and haven't killed it. That's called growth. The end. Unless Tyler calls me from a flip phone in 2031 begging for a couch to sleep on. Then we'll do the sequel. But for now, this is my story. And unlike Tyler, it has a satisfying ending.